lesson, our environment. I hope that you have seen activity 15.3 which is mentioned last day. And can you tell which artificial ecosystem is mentioned in that activity? It is an aquarium. Okay, we discuss a little bit differences about a pond, the natural ecosystem, and an aquarium. Okay, so what you will do if a plant or a few fish in your aquarium dies? Surely you will clean it. But do you think that such a cleaning is needed in the case of a natural pond, natural ecosystem? No. That means natural ecosystem consists decomposes. So cleaning will happen automatically. But in the case of an artificial ecosystem like aquarium, there is no decomposes. That is the main difference between an ecosystem, natural ecosystem, pond, and an artificial ecosystem, aquarium. Okay. Now today we are discussing about a food chain. Let's think, what are the different living organisms present in the universe? They are producers, consumers, and decomposers. We can categorize the living organisms in our environment into autotrophs or producers, heterotrophs or consumers, and decomposers. Okay, so children, can you tell which group of living organisms can produce food or make food by utilizing the solar energy by the process of photosynthesis? Surely green plants and some blue-green algae. That's why they are called producers or autotrophs. Okay. Then what do you mean by heterotrophs or consumers? Heterotrophs are also called consumers because they are depending on autotrophs or producers for their survival. All the consumers, including herbivores, carnivores, and parasites, directly or indirectly depending on autotrophs or the plants for their food. Okay, then what is the role performed by decomposers? Decomposers break down the dead and decaying matter and help to replenish the soil. So the nutrients in the soil replenishes due to the action of decomposers. Do you think that any problem will be there if there is no decomposers in the universe? Surely. That means no nutrient recycling will occur in the absence of decomposers. So there will be an imbalance occur due to the presence of decomposers. So actually the role performed by these minute organisms, decomposers include bacteria, fungi, etc. Okay. Now let's think, what is a food chain? Have you heard of a food chain? Actually, a series of organisms feeding on one another. A series of organisms feeding on one another or taking part at various biotic levels form a food chain. Okay. For example, grasshopper, frog, snake, eagle. This is a typical food chain. Here, grass will be eaten by grasshopper. Then this grasshopper will be eaten by frog. then frog will be eaten by snake, and then snake will be eaten by eagle. So there we can see a chain of organisms eating and being eaten by others. So this is an example of food chain. Let's consider another simple food chain. Plants, deer and tiger. Here plants are eaten by deer. Deer is eaten by a tiger or lion. This is another food chain. Okay. So when we are coming to the thinking about the food chain, we can see that there are different steps. Always remember, the first or the basic level in a food chain is formed by the producers. Then next level is by the primary consumers. Again, next level will be occupied by secondary consumers. And next level or the last level will be occupied by the tertiary consumers. So we can see different levels or steps. So each and every level or steps in a food chain is known as trophic levels. Okay, what do you mean by trophic levels? Each step or levels of the food chain is known as trophic levels. Okay, now let's examine in detail. When we see, discuss, autotrophs convert solar energy into chemical energy. We know that one form of energy is converted to another form. A lot of energy will be lost into the atmosphere. When one form of energy is converted to other form of energy, a great deal of energy will be lost into the atmosphere. So, while studying this flow of energy, we can conclude like this. Actually, only 1% of energy will be captured by the green plants from the sun. 1% of the energy will be captured by the producers. Okay. Then this energy which is passing to the next trophic level, that means when green plants are eaten by the herbivores, a great deal of energy will be lost as heat. Then 90% of the energy will be utilized for its growth, respiration, reproduction and all the other life processes. So very little energy will be stored in its body, and when a herbivore is eaten by a carnivore, only 10% of energy will be there to pass from herbivore to the carnivore. Is it clear? Food chain ഓരോ ലെവലിൽ നിന്നും അടുത്ത ലെവലിലേക്ക് എനർജി പാസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അപ്രോക്സിമേറ്റ്ലി 10% മാത്രമാണ് അടുത്ത ലെവലിലേക്ക് പാസ് ചെയ്യുവാൻ അതിന് തൊട്ട് മുൻപുള്ള പ്രീവിയസ് ലെവൽ ഓഫ് ഓർഗാനിസത്തിൽ കാണുകയുള്ളൂ. ഓക്കെ, അതിനാൽ തന്നെ വാട്ട് വിൽ ഹാപ്പൻ, ട്രോപ്പിക് ലെവൽസിന്റെ നമ്പർ 3 4 കൊണ്ട് അവസാനിക്കുന്നു. സോ വി ക്യാൻ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് during the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level, only 10% of energy is available to the next trophic level. Okay, that is known as 10% law. I will repeat. During the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next, about 10% of energy is available to the higher trophic level. That means all the other part of energy will be lost for life process of the organism. Okay. So, this is known as 10% low. For example, if we consider a food chain, plants, deer, lion. Suppose plants are having 1000 joule of energy, only 100 joules will be passed to the next trophic level, that is deer. Then how much energy will be passing to the lion? 10 joules. This is the universal law of energy flow. That is 10% law. Only 10% of energy will be passing from one trophic level to the next trophic level. That is why the number of organisms in a trophic level is reduced. Okay. Again, another very important thing is that always in a food chain, this number of producers are more. Always in a food chain, number of producers ആയിരിക്കും ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുക. Understood? Then the length and complexity vary each and every organism. That means when we consider a food chain, we can say that an organism can be eaten by many other organisms. For example, if you consider a rat can be eaten by a cat, a snake, a vulture, or a peacock. Okay, that means an organism can be eaten by many other organisms. So instead of a straight line of food chain, this relationship can be shown as a series of branching lines called food web. Have you seen this? Here is a diagram of a food web. Okay. Then, when we come to the diagram showing the energy flow, this is the diagram showing the energy flow. Okay. When we consider this, we can prove two things. First thing, energy flow is unidirectional. Energy flow in a food chain is always unidirectional. That means the energy captured by the green plants or produces from the sun will never go back to sun, or the energy passed from producers to the herbivores will never revert back to the producers. Like that, the energy which is passed from the herbivores to carnivores will never come back to the previous trophic level. So, we can state that energy flow is always unidirectional. In a food chain, energy flow is always unidirectional. അതായത് സൺലൈറ്റ് യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസേഴ്സ് ഫുഡ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നു. അവരിലേക്ക് എത്തിയ ഈ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസേഴ്സിലേക്ക് എത്തിയ സോളാർ എനർജി ഒരിക്കലും തിരിച്ച് സണ്ണിലേക്ക് തന്നെ പോകുന്നില്ല. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസേഴ്സിനെ കഴിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹെർബിവോസ് ഗ്രീൻ പ്ലാന്റ്സിനെ കഴിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഗ്രീൻ പ്ലാന്റ്സിൽ നിന്ന് ഹെർബിവോസിലെത്തിയ എനർജി ഒരിക്കലും തിരിച്ച് ഗ്രീൻ പ്ലാന്റ്സിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നില്ല. സോ വി ക്യാൻ ടെൽ ദാറ്റ് എനർജി ഫ്ലോ ഇൻ ആൻ ഇക്കോസിസ്റ്റം ഈസ് ഓൾവേസ് unidirectional. Got it? Another interesting aspect of food chain is how unknowingly some chemicals enter into our bodies. We know that farmers are extensively using fertilizers, pesticides and weedicides in their crops. From there, some of these chemicals will be seep into the ground, or during the rainy season it will wash down to the water bodies. Okay, from the ground or from the soil, plants will absorb these chemicals along with water and minerals. From the water bodies, aquatic plants and animals will absorb it. So, as these chemicals are non-biodegradable in nature, they will get accumulated in the food crops or in the aquatic animals like fish. When we consume these food items, automatically this pesticide or chemicals will enter into the food chain also. Okay, as human beings are at the top of the food chain, the accumulation of these chemicals will be more in human body also. That is how some chemicals enter into the food chain and cause many diseases. We have often heard that it is not safe to eat food which is taken from the market. If we are cultivating with the organic food materials or crops in our own land, it will be safer. Better always go for some organic manures. Okay, so this process of accumulation of chemicals in this manner is known as biological magnification. Understood? As human beings occupy at the top level in any food chain, the maximum concentration of these chemicals get accumulated in our bodies. This phenomenon is known as biological magnification. Okay, then two more topics to discuss. How our activities affect the environment. First one we already discussed in the last class, waste we produce. Another thing is ozone layer and how it get depleted. Okay, let us think about that. Do you know what is ozone? Ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen. Ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen. Okay, what is the role performed by this ozone? Ozone actually is very essential part of the atmosphere as it shields the earth from the UV rays of the sun. Okay, ozone is a 3 atom. Ozone is formed by 3 atoms of oxygen. You know, oxygen is very much needed for the organisms, for respiration, for survival. But on the other hand, O3 or ozone is deadly poison also. So let us think how ozone is formed in the atmosphere. Okay, in the atmosphere there are many oxygen molecules. Okay, some of these oxygen molecules will be acted upon by UV rays and split into free oxygen atoms. Okay, so some of the oxygen molecules acted upon by UV rays from the sun and will split into free oxygen atoms. These free oxygen atoms, when combined with oxygen molecule, forms O3 or ozone. Okay? When UV rays acted upon oxygen molecule, it will split into free oxygen atoms. When these free oxygen atoms combine with oxygen molecule, it gives rise to ozone. Okay. Now, let's think about what are the problems created by ozone layer depletion. As I told you, ozone protects the earth from the UV rays of the sun. What will happen? What are the problems if ozone layer is being depleted? There are many problems. First point is that it leads to infertility in animals and humans. What do you mean by infertility? That means unable to produce young ones or offsprings. Okay. Then it leads to skin cancer. It leads to skin cancer. Again, there is greater chance for mutations. Mutation means sudden changes in the genetical order. It leads to many diseases. Genetical disorders will occur due to it's a vision problem. So all these are problems created by the entry of UV rays into the earth. So it's our duty to take steps to reduce ozone layer depletion. What are the causes for the ozone layer depletion? Can you name one chemical which is used in our refrigerators? That is CFC. CFC means chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons, which is used in refrigerators, ACs, fire extinguishers and aerosol sprays, are the main reason for the depletion of ozone layer. Many other greenhouse gases are also leading to this activity. Okay, there are many organizations and programs arranged to minimize or to freeze the use of CFCs nowadays. One is United Nations Environment Program that aims in freezing the use of CFCs. Some other protocols like Kyoto Protocol, Mitigation Policy, Helsinki Policy, Montreal Protocol, all these are organizations aimed to reduce the use of CFCs. So that's all about this chapter. Let's recall the things which we have learned today. First, we have learned about the different types of or categories of living organisms: autotrophs, heterotrophs and decomposers, and what is the role performed by them. Then we have seen what is a food chain, what is a food web, how is the energy transfer occurs in various trophic levels of the food chain. Then how is energy transfer occurs in unidirectional way, and what is biological magnification. Again, we have seen what is ozone, how is it formed, what are the after effects of ozone layer depletion, then what is 10% low. Okay, one more point is there to add, children. That is, can you tell me if there is any problem if we remove all the organisms in a particular trophic level. If we remove all the organisms in a, for example, plants, deer, tiger. Suppose we are removing all the deers. Do you think that it will create any problem to the environment? Yes. That means by the absence of deer, the plant population will grow enormously. And also the tiger population will decrease. In the absence of sufficient food, their number will decrease. So there will be an imbalance in the food chain. Like that, if we remove a particular organism from any food chain, it will surely create problems to the previous level and also to the next trophic levels. Okay, I hope that this is a simple chapter and you got the points. So I'll be sending related questions and essay activities through the WhatsApp. Read the test very thoroughly. Try to ask doubts if there is anything to clarify. Okay, thank you children.